Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson where we are going to look at a very difficult TOEIC question, a very difficult English question. Now, on the TOEIC test, about 50% of students get this answer wrong, and they don't have to. So I'm going to show you how to get the answer easily. Let's get started. So once again, this is a very tricky question. So let's start with just basic grammar. Of course, in English, a sentence generally needs a main clause, which is a subject plus verb. It does not need a partner. An example of a main clause is I have a gift. I is your subject, have is your verb. Or she called me. She is the subject, called is the verb. These can stand by themselves. They do not need a partner. Then you can add an adverb clause or a prepositional phrase to give more detail, such as when, such as the reason or the condition. An adverb clause is a clause, subject plus verb, connected to a main clause. An example is, because the criminal was set free, that's my adverb clause, the town was worried. That's my main clause. Or I had been a fan of Kanye West before he started acting like a jerk. I had been a fan of Kanye West is your main clause. Before he started acting like a jerk is your adjective clause. In these sentences, because and before tell us we have an adverb clause. So we have because subject verb and before subject verb. So they are called adverb clause markers. In English, there are about 30 adverb clause markers. I'm going to put the most common ones up on the screen now. You know all these adverb clause markers? Can you use them all? Maybe, maybe not. But they can be followed by a subject verb. Then they're connected to a main clause. Now, an adverb clause can go before or after the main clause. For example, unless I focus on this, I won't understand it. So, unless I focus on this is my adverb clause. My main clause is I won't understand it. Now, the usual form is adverb clause, comma, main clause. But let's look at this. I won't understand it unless I focus on this. Here, I do not need the comma. So, if you start with the main clause, you don't usually put a comma before the adverb clause. But if you start with the adverb clause, you often put a comma after it. One more example. Once you finish, you can go home. Once you finish is your adverb clause. So we have a comma before the main clause. But you can go home once you finish. I do not need to have the comma. Okay, so let's go back to this TOEIC question. So if it said, after I arrived at the party, I realized that I had forgotten the gift. So I realized that I had forgotten the gift is the main clause. And after I arrived or had arrived at the party is your adverb clause. However, the answer for this TOEIC question is not A. Why? When you start a sentence with only plus adverb clause, the main clause becomes inverted. This means it looks like a yes/no question, but it is actually a statement. This is to add emphasis, to add drama, to make the point that it is the only thing. Let's look at some examples. If I finish the project, I can go home early. That's correct. However, you want to emphasize that finishing the project is the only way. So, only if I finish the project can I go home early. Notice the main clause is now inverted. So the rule is only adverb clause, inverted sentence. Another example, While I'm listening to music, I feel relaxed. Perfect, right? While I'm listening to music is your adverb clause. Your main clause is feel relaxed. I feel relaxed. But you want to emphasize that listening to music is the only way you can relax. So, only while I'm listening to music do I feel relaxed. Notice, do I feel? It's an inverted sentence. Now, we only do this if only is at the start of the sentence. Let's look at an example. I feel relaxed only while I'm listening to music. That's correct. But if I start with only while I'm listening to music do I feel relaxed. So let's look at this TOEIC question. It says only after I arrived at the party. So it's starting the sentence with only plus adverb clause. Therefore, my main clause will look like a yes/no question. I will use inversion. Only after I arrived at the party did I realize that I had forgotten the gift. So the answer is C. Now, this is a tough TOEIC question, but if it comes up, you'll be ready. So make sure to like, subscribe, share, and good luck with your English and good luck with your TOEIC.